Now, Lauri Myllyvirta is Senior Fellow at Asia Society Policy Institute and Lead Analyst at CREA, joining us. Now, Lauri, thanks so much for your time. I wonder if you could give us your take on the data, specifically what it says about China.
Absolutely. So 2024, last year, was the first year that China's clean energy boom really came to fruition in terms of bringing down CO2 emissions in the power sector. So there was an increase early in the year, but since the second quarter of 2024, emissions have been flat or falling for the past 1.5 years, which is, of course, great news. So it's about the massive growth of solar and wind in the power sector. It's about the electrification of transportation and also declining emissions from steel and cement production. So very important trends. But of course, as the official report highlights, atmospheric CO2 concentrations are still rising fast, and those will only stop rising once we reach carbon neutrality globally. So there's obviously a very long way to go.
Yeah, and we're all waiting for that moment that there's a peak and a decline. For China, is it all downhill from here in a good way?
China's committed to peaking CO2 emissions before 2030, so that leaves the question about the next few years. The country is just finalizing the 5-year plan for the next 5 years, and that's going to be definitive in terms of what happens to emissions over the next few years. But if the clean energy boom continues at the rate that it's happened in the past few years, there's a good chance that emissions will start coming down from now, and we would have actually seen the peak in China's CO2 emissions.
I mean, that's potentially incredibly hopeful news. And against the backdrop of China's rising electricity consumption through issues such as AI, is it even more remarkable given that?
Absolutely. So this is the first time that China's emissions are stable or falling while electricity consumption and total energy consumption continues to grow rapidly. So that really shows that the clean energy industry has reached the scale where it can cover all of China's electricity demand growth and start to bring down the use of fossil fuels.
If we compare it to the rest of the world, China 0.6% growth, the rest of the world 0.8%. We know China was the biggest emitter, but let's look at that difference and what the rest of the world isn't doing. What do you have to say about that particular aspect of the data?
When you break the rest of the world down further, you have countries that are reducing emissions. There was significant progress, for example, in the European Union, a major reduction in emissions. And then there are countries where emissions are still rising rapidly, particularly India has seen rapid growth in 2024. The good news is that India is also scaling up its investments in wind and solar and should reach the same tipping point in the next few years that China has already reached, where the growth of clean energy can cover electricity demand growth. So we're seeing the similar progress in a lot of other key markets as well.
Thank you so much for breaking down the data for us. That's Lauri Myllyvirta, Senior Fellow at Asia Society Policy Institute and Lead Analyst at CREA.
Thank you.